Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to a radio chat for a new radio season. For me, when the weather turns cold and rainy and you begin to feel like you're stuck inside, that is the beginning for me of radio season, although I listen to the radio in nice weather, but usually outside. So tonight I want to show you something which I just got hooked up and I'm really a little excited about, which is an antenna I'm going to show you here in a few minutes. But I want to say that over the last several years I've become increasingly interested in medium wave, which is something that's how I discovered radio when I was a kid, and kind of left medium wave for a long time. Didn't really tune too much on it, listen to it in the car every now and then, but I'm getting more and more turned on to AM DXing. I still enjoy listening to a variety of things, a lot of wacky, interesting things on AM. So the problem is, where I keep my radios here in the house is in the basement. And I have a brick house and a poured concrete foundation basement, so needless to say, AM signals down here are non-existent, or at best pretty poor. And I also have a lot of interference in the house, so this is a terrible location for a guy interested in medium wave. Pretty much my medium wave stuff is when I'm camping or when I'm outside. So I picked this up last year and finally got it hooked up reliably tonight. This is an antenna put out by C Crane, and it's a twin coil ferrite antenna, and this is just the box. The element for the antenna is outside. It's on a 75-foot cable, I think, and it's probably 10 inches by 3 or 4 inches. It's kind of like almost the size of a 2x4, black plastic, but it goes outside and it connects to this, and so this enables you to tune the element outside and really enables you to import a really decent AM signal. So I'm going to show you tonight just a demonstration. I have my Sangean 909X, crazy name for a radio. So I'm going to give you just a quick tour. This is what it sounds like. These are relatively strong local stations. There's 660 here in northern New Jersey. I'm sorry, go through the memories here. That's one of the stronger ones, 710. WABC 770. So just getting a flavor of what this thing sounds like. So I've got it hooked up to the C Crane here. Comes with a nice 1/4-inch end, which connects. There's also I'll show you that some other time. But if you have a radio with a direct AM connection, and not all of them do, this one does. I have maybe 1 or 2 others that do. It'll pump the signal from the antenna, but it has to be tuned. So let me go back to the first station I went to, which was 660. Oh, here's what it sounded like before. Okay, now with that antenna, now I have to tune it over here. I have to turn it on, and it's pretty dramatic.
Energy.com. Deregulation gave you a choice in energy suppliers. Agera made the choice easier. AgeraEnergy.com for additional information. They moved you from Devil Taxi to Detroit. Visit the game site tonight.
Okay, there's still some interference in there, some noises, that are emanating from my house. But here's how it sounds without it. Totally unlistenable. But with it, perfectly listenable AM reception. If you were listening to a ball game or a talk show, not the best, but it's possible. So here's 710.
And be very grateful in your language to his mom and dad.
That's a much better.
Probably should do that.
It's a much better signal generally.
Mom and dad, we want to just take a year and really get to know each other and bring something.
Let's go to.
And Hezbollah would be for us to say, if you don't enforce that
770. This one is always kind of hard. 880 for me. And again, this is what it sounds like without. Pretty terrible. So that covers, this little guy covers, you know, stations locally that maybe you wouldn't get. But I'm going to try to push it a little bit here for some kind of DX stuff. Now, right now it's a little bit after 10 at night, so there's all kinds of stuff coming in. Let me try to find something that normally I wouldn't find a station in my area. I'm just trying to think of something here. Well, let's go with 1110.
alone, radicalism, that is creating a level of cooperation, even if it isn't highly visible, in fact, it's taking place and it's unprecedented. We have never, in fact, in the past.
And then going up to 1120.
So I'm looking beyond what time means wasted time. Wasted time means wasted money. For the wide variety of the latest products, brings and gets us what we need when we need it to help keep this place.
Okay, now there's a signal that's not so great. Let's see, 1130. That might be local. That might be closer to local than I think. But you know, this time in the evening, you can find something on just about every step of the AM dial. Now, in another video, I'm going to show you how to use this, or show you this use for a radio that maybe doesn't have an input like this. This, I guess that's about an 1/8 inch input. I got it hooked up to just a regular mono plug, but there is a inductor coil that attaches. So, well, let's see if I can get that thing to work. I gotta say that I tried it. I'm just gonna pull this whole thing out here. Turn this guy off. So, how does this thing work with maybe a radio that's not so great? Well, the plug actually, this is an adapter I attached. This actually comes with the radio when you buy it from C Crane, and it's a little coil in there, like so. And let's say you're using a radio like, oh, you know what? I'm going to show you because I'm just in the mood. This radio, which I just kind of fired up seriously tonight. It's just this is absolutely a thing of beauty. I mean, this is, you know, when I connect to stuff like this, makes me remember why I got into radio in the first place. So this is a Panasonic clock radio, and it's actually pretty hot. So it's actually doing some pretty good DXing on it earlier. I think that's fairly local. Okay, so here's a game, and I can barely hear it. This radio actually does really well inside. It's like this outperforms just about everything else I have on the AM band without any attachment. So I've got this coil hooked up here, and I got some tape It took me a while to figure out kind of where the antenna was on the inside of this thing, but you want to get them basically lined up. Oh, there's Brother Stare. Brother Stare on medium wave. That's exciting. This is not a thrilling demonstration. Okay, here's a good example of why an antenna like this would be helpful. So here's a station which is kind of unreadable the way it's coming in. Let me turn this thing off. It's okay, you know, but if you want to listen to that whirring thing, I think that's something coming from the inside.
For free information, call now. 1-800-953-9975. That's 1-800-953-9975.
I can tune that out.
1-800-953-9975. Talk about a sale. Affordable Kitchen and Bath has everything on sale during their warehouse.
I just kind of tuned out that interference because it was, I think that the radio picks up stuff inside the house, but this thing only picks up the signal outside. So that's one way to avoid some, if you have a noisy home electrically, to avoid that. This thing really does miracles down in the lower part of the band. So let me find... Okay, let's try this. You probably can't hear that, but there's something there. And I'm going to try to... There you go. So that was working. It's really fine. This thing has super fine tuning. So you got to be really gentle with that. The twin coil is pretty fine too. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and look forward to bringing you something else real soon.